Every time we say goodbye.
Welcome back, everyone. Somehow, again, I'm going to joke, we're back on the floor where I can't sit. I'm going to be moving all around. But we've done as many of the essentials videos kind of as we could before. So we did the newborn, we did the 1 to 3 and the 3 to 6. And one of the things that we wanted to do in addition was just kind of the feeding essentials, because this we were completely confused on whenever we first started. So we're going to kind of run through some of the things that we really like. At least one of these we'll do an in-depth review on, and that's the one that I'm going to start on actually, which is right here, which is our high chair. And I'll be honest, I was completely against this particular high chair, but it has been great, and honestly I highly doubt that we would have had any better success with anything else. This is the Stokey Trip Trap, I think that's how it's pronounced. But we'll do an in-depth review on that high chair, because I think it's worthwhile. The majority of this stuff, it's not really worthwhile doing a full in-depth review, but that one is. So the second one on the list here are Bibs / Smocks. So I'm going to try and readjust myself, but obviously there's a bunch of different versions of bibs. We had a whole host of them. The regular just kind of cloth bibs that attach behind the baby's neck. We had snap ones and the Velcro ones, so hook and loop fasteners, but we found that those, number one, obviously they're fabric, so they get dirty pretty quickly, and the Velcro on the back of his neck, it kind of scratched him a little bit. So we were joking, we don't know if he just has a big neck, and maybe that doesn't affect other babies, or maybe we just had small ones, we don't know. But we'd also bought a couple of these, we were gifted a few of them, so these are silicone bibs. They're easy to wipe off, easy to rinse off, and they have this little pocket. So we thought, this would be great. Well, our issue here was that he chewed on them. So long story short, I think from a bib standpoint, you'll kind of have to figure out if one works better for you than another one. But because we didn't have great success with the regular bibs, and this one he liked to use as a chew toy and it just got in the way of feeding, we went looking for a different solution. So this was is a Smock, and Natalie kept trying to get me to buy one of these, and I don't know why I avoided it, but we ended up buying one. This was like $10 on Amazon. It was like $10.99, and there's a bunch of them on Amazon. So this also has a pocket, but this covers him basically the whole top portion of his body. And it's funny, if you read some of the reviews are like, it doesn't cover my baby's entire body. It's like, he sits in a high chair. I don't know how much more you want to cover, but these are awesome. Mm-hmm. So for like $11, these are awesome. You can rinse them off. The only bad thing is they stain. So I don't know really why they can't make one that's not stainable, but yeah, I definitely recommend Smocks. That's huge. It was a huge thing for us in like even just the past couple of weeks is when we bought this. And the only thing you have to watch out for is when you pick them up, sometimes if there's a bunch of stuff in there, he'll like grab it as you're removing it from him, and then you just dump everything that was in the pocket all over the floor.
And then I just want to mention, so Ari had said that he chews on here, so the reason that was an issue is because when the bib's on him, he likes to chew right here. And then when he has food in his mouth too, he'll chew and drool, and then it's all that food drool would just run down the back, so it kind of defeated the purpose of having the bib. And then also I just want to make this comment, this is clean, it's just these are the stains that we can't remove.
Yeah, we try, and there are definitely some of these out there that have really bad reviews. Some have really good reviews, but this one, I didn't even read the reviews before we ordered it. It was an Amazon Prime purchase. It got here in like 24 hours, and then we were kind of upset that it died, and then we went back and read all the reviews, and it said, well, they die anyway.
Yeah.
Next thing on the list is, Natalie keeps saying this is called a tiny cup. I don't know if it actually is or not, but it's a little silicone, it's almost like a silicone shot glass. Like that's pretty much the size. And I say that jokingly because we don't even drink. I think it's the size of a shot glass, but This is awesome. So if you go through like the Montessori stuff, they suggest that you should start trying to get your babies to drink. I'd say it's 4 months. Okay, so she read all that stuff, I didn't. But he does like chewing on everything silicone, so he does chew on this. But what we'll do is we'll kind of fill it up with water and guide it, our very expensive water that's purchased in, you know, the 1 gallon jug, whatever ridiculousness it is.
The baby water.
Yeah, and we'll guide this up to his mouth, and he'll start chewing on it. But as soon as he gets a little bit of water, it's like gulp, 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 gulp. He realizes how much he wants the water. And if we put it on the table, he'll reach for it. So this is not only, I think, maybe a successful kind of learning device for getting him to learn how to drink, but he also enjoys this. And then also on the side, well, all these are feeding things, but as far as kind of vessel to get food to him, if you go out and look, so there are some high chair brands like 4Moms, they do the magnetic stuff. I cannot get comfortable. I've got to stop doing stuff on the floor. The 4Moms has magnetic tables. Ours does not have that, it's just plastic. And a couple of these, I think we got a couple of these in like registries or something like that. So these are suction cups. I don't think this one actually is, but this is a suction cup, kind of like dish. And I think this one does sort of suction cup. These are really helpful. Our issue is our tray is not suctionable, if that's a word. So it works well on a hard surface. Still suggests these.
Yeah, like on the granite, I mean, if they get so
Yeah.
stuck, I have trouble getting them off. But on the high chair, I mean, he rips it off constantly.
Yeah, so definitely useful. Again, silicone is really nice. It's easy to clean. It's dishwasher safe. He can chew on it, so that's really nice. And then also self-feeding utensils. This is gonna be infuriating watching me move around like this. Self-feeding utensils. So this just has like a short, like stubby stem, and it's got like a fat kind of thing to hold on to. So he's not really capable of feeding himself quite yet. He can buy it with hands, but we're trying this. And we wish we would have gotten these a little bit earlier because he shows interest in trying to guide things, food into his mouth. If we're kind of guiding a spoon of something into his mouth, he'll kind of grab it and guide it in. So these definitely, we suggest kind of getting something like this and starting out with it. Again, you can buy all this stuff, obviously, Amazon, Walmart, Target, things like that.
And so with this, sometimes I'll preload the spoon for him, and sometimes he can grab it and put it in correctly, but a lot of the times he'll grab it and he'll put the wrong end in. So we're still kind of working, and I feel like that's kind of a hard thing because a lot of times you have to have a lot of patience because he'll throw it on the floor or it'll just make a big mess, and it's just easier, feeding him. So I know we need to get better at, letting him kind of self-feed. So next I'll talk to you about what I use to make his foods and kind of the essentials if you want to make your own purees. So obviously Paxton's a little bit older now, and so he's eating more of the finger food, but when he was eating most of the purees, this was really helpful. So originally I wanted to buy one of those baby food making machines where it steams the food and then blends it up for you. When I was between two of them, and when I was reading the reviews, basically it said that if you break the jar, there are no replacement parts, and then essentially the thing's useless. Now obviously I didn't plan on breaking the jar, but it's expensive. It was, I want to say it was like $250 for one and $280 for the other. So it wasn't a cheap product, and I didn't want, for the chance that I did knock it over or crack it somehow, that then I would have a useless motor, so to speak. So I kind of wanted to see what the alternatives were. Plus, they're only on purees for such a short amount of time that I didn't really see the benefit of purchasing it. Plus, it's another thing to kind of clutter up because I feel like don't have enough storage anyways. So what I ended up buying is, I don't have this here, but we already had this previously, one of those little steamer inserts that you put in your pot and pan. That's where I would steam his vegetables and fruit. And then I got this immersion blender. So I actually ended up buying this because we ended up breaking the blender that we had, not because I was making the food,
Yeah.
but because I thought it was a good idea to sterilize it, and I ended up melting the plastic component. So don't do that. But anyways, so this immersion blender honestly is amazing, and it works very well, and it gets the job done. And I actually have used it to make homemade tomato sauce. I feel like this is a lot more versatile than if you would have bought one of those fancy baby food puree making machines. Plus, this was what?
I think it was like $39,
$39.
and that was the expensive one too.
Yeah, because we wanted an all stainless steel one and no components to be plastic.
Well, and Natalie is also from Austria,
and this one was from
yeah,
Austria.
it was Austrian, so that's kind of sealed the deal. It was like even if it was $150, we probably would have bought it anyway.
But yeah, so this has been amazing. And I honestly highly recommend for everyone to just buy the little steamer insert for your pots and pan, and then get an immersion blender. So I also have this, so my sister-in-law got this for me, and it's very helpful. I'll be honest, for the purees, I kind of just did my own thing.
You have to tell them what it is.
So it's a book of organic baby food. So basically the first section talks about, single ingredient purees, how long to steam it, and things like that, and gives you ideas and how to season things. And then the second one is like combination and chunky purees, and then the third section is smoothies and finger foods, and then the last is like family foods, where it has, I'll give you some examples. So for example, some of the finger foods would be, I don't know.
She's gonna look for one she would enjoy.
No, I'm just finding like just plain ones. So for example, like baked falafel with tahini yogurt dip, or there's banana pancakes, or blueberry flaxseed mini muffins, and it just gives you little ingredients. And then or zucchini pizza bites. And then down in the like family section, they have turkey meatballs with artichoke, spinach, and lemon sauce. Oh no, that wasn't even family dinner, that was still finger foods. So family dinner options would be like sweet potato and leek soup, which Ari would not be eating, but I would. And then they have minestrone soup, white bean, kale, and potato soup, shepherd's pie, shrimp and grits, and just some ideas. Fish tacos with jicama slaw, which I know Ari likes his jicama. But anyways, it's just nice little ideas. But while I will admit that I use it a lot in the back, I saw my check marks. It gives you like different things for purees and the cook time. So if you need to see how long to steam it, but I don't really use it for that, to be honest. I used it more so to kind of check through, because as you're making all the purees and introducing your baby to food, you kind of run out of, oh, have I tried this? Have I tried everything? Because you kind of go through, okay, what are the common things that I eat, and things that come to you at the top of your head, but then you're kind of stuck and you're like, did I give him everything already? And then this just, would go through and kind of check off as I fed it to him. So this is, obviously you don't need it, but it's nice to have a little book to kind of guide you through. Kind of went out of order, but so along the lines of when you make your own baby food, what I would do is I would make a big batch, and then I bought these silicone molds, again from Amazon, and so these are BPA free, because that was my big requirement. And then all you do is you fill it up and then pop it into the freezer, and then they'll freeze, and then they'll pop out nicely, and then I would store it in a Ziploc bag. And then just whenever I was ready to use them, I would put the little frozen cube in one of these the night before, and then just kind of let it thaw in the refrigerator. And then in the morning, I would heat it up if I needed to, if it was something that I wanted to feed him warm, and otherwise if it was something that he could eat cold, then I would give it to him like this. And then these are the Wee Sprout, and these are amazing. They're just little jars, and it came with a whole bunch of them. They're glass. And I really like this, and we've actually used these for other things other than baby food. If you have little leftovers, or what have you, you have a little glass jar. And these are really nice. And they have the colorful ones, and then they also have ones that are a little bit more muted. In hindsight, I wish I would have bought the muted ones, but I guess it really doesn't matter.
The reason I was moving is that's called Wee Sprout, and these are called like Wee Grieco. Something. I started questioning if it was the same thing, but it's not.
But yeah, so basically these are kind of our essentials. So like I said, I think if I had to choose our favorites from what we just talked about, our 100% go-tos, I will never use a different high chair, is a high chair. And like Ari said, we'll have an in-depth review coming up because I know I'm in love with it and I'm pretty sure Ari is too. And then this Smock, I mean, honestly, I don't know why. I was against it at first too, but now it's, you know, why. It keeps him clean and it's just easy and he doesn't chew on it really.
Now I just need a Smock for the floor.
Yeah. Oh, and that's another thing I wanted to mention, a quick little tip that, you know, I noticed. So what we do when we feed him, obviously it's a big old mess. We have two types of rags. One rag that I call our cleaning rags, and then we specifically bought him rags, which are his like face wipes and hand wipes while he's eating, his little towels, because we don't want to waste, you know, paper towels or baby wipes or anything like that. And basically what we do is we just wipe him, have him prepped before we feed him, and that way I can kind of wipe his face, wipe his hands if he gets super messy, you know, during while I'm feeding him. And then I always have, like I said, a separate rag that I use to wipe up the floor, and we kind of designated, we bought the like blue toned ones for his face, so we know we won't accidentally use like our cleaning floor rags on him, and then we use the other one on the floor, and it just keeps it, I don't know, easy, and we don't use a lot of paper towels or anything like that, which is nice, and it keeps us organized and clean. So that is something I would recommend, is if you don't already have, you know, rags like that you can dedicate, have them on hand, because you'll go through a lot. And now that I'm mentioning it, every week we say we need to add another package of both onto our grocery list, but we forgot again this week because we go through them a lot, because obviously each day you need at least
2 or 3.
Yeah. But anyway, so that's kind of it.
So we'll, like we talked about, we'll hit this one. We have a couple more reviews that we'll do, and we'll probably do a couple of more pregnancy loss videos and things like that. But I guess these are just more upbeat, so they're a little happier to do. But if you have any questions, let us know in the comments below. And until next time, thanks everyone.
Every time we